Florida man, Florida man, Florida man, ayy. Florida man, Florida man, Florida man, yeah. Florida man, Florida man, Florida man, ayy. County line road for the border man, sunshine.
As you know, unfortunately, X passed due to tragic circumstances.
Rest in peace.
And we actually have someone there that was at the funeral, so.
The day of the service, the public service, I went up to the BB&T center. It was upwards of 10,000 to, it could be 20,000 in and out of there showing love for X. I feel like
it was deep.
It was really deep. A lot of young kids, a lot of different people that you would never think to go there went. A lot of his peers, from Yachty to Uzi to academics, Adam 22, the people of the media as well who cover him. They did a really good job. They had his music playing the whole time. It was a very somber and mood. Yeah, man. Everybody loved him. I feel like he getting the love that he was supposed to get when he was alive, and people would have probably talked to him a lot more and showed him that how much they meant to him instead of waiting till after this happened. It's still tragic. They got him a mausoleum now. In
I saw the picture.
Broward.
Yeah, that's dope.
Hey, how y'all feel about his ex going and and now like she got a tattoo of his like I guess some of his lyrics or whatever, and she was at the funeral, and I think she had got to like fight there or some shit. Right?
Yeah, she got into
a fight because
she was at the memorial, right? Yeah. Like they had like a visual. Yeah.
I don't know too much about their relationship.
Yeah.
But I want to say I've been in toxic relationships. I know all of y'all probably been in toxic relationships with somebody. I feel like
bitches be toxic.
I feel like this, what we watching with her and X, is like something toxic that she wouldn't let go, he wouldn't let go, whether it was in court or whether it was personally. And even through his death, she wouldn't let that go, and it was still a toxic situation. Like, it's gonna be something that she gotta cope with on her own. Like now, worse.
So was you able to get into the?
Yeah, I was able to get in. I waited in line for
because that line was thick.
I went early. I went on my lunch break, so the line was still long. But I went when the doors were opening and everybody was moving in, and it was brisk. I know later on in the day, like while they were trying to finish, people were trying to get there, so the line got crazy.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
But when I first got there, like the line was moving in and out. People were able to talk to each other, see who they needed to see. Yeah, it was just good to see his peers out there, especially Uzi, somebody who, that got a lot of influence and a lot of kids behind him, a lot of people behind him. Uzi was a stand-up guy out there. Like, it wasn't no clown activity going on. It was very respectable. I commend his family for doing that for his fans and for everybody that loved his music.
I don't think we ever seen nothing like that before.
No, we never seen that for a young guy. 20
yeah.
years old, man. And yeah, man, I was a fan. I'm definitely gonna miss the music. I don't know how y'all feel like.
I mean, I think again, like you said earlier, like it sucks that he's getting the love now that he should have got while he was here. Like, I tell the story all the time. I got my little brother and my little cousin, both of them are 12 years old. So I remember when I was their age, I was just like starting to develop a love for music. So I randomly asked both of them, like, who was in y'all top 5? Right. The first person both of them mentioned was X. And I'm looking at them like, yo,
I mean, that's a statement though. That's crazy.
But like, I was looking at them like, all right, that's some little young shit or whatever. Yeah. Because like the only song I was going off of was Look At Me. And that's like when you listen to his whole like catalog of music, like that's a chip. Like, so I was going off that, but when he passed, like, because I remember even when I went to my barber, he was telling me like, nah, X live, and he older than me. So when he said it, I was like, okay, all right.
How y'all feel now watching the Sad video?
The Sad video was lit.
It fucked me up, bro.
It fucked me up too.
It fucked me up too, saying that he was trying. Like, he was trying to get rid of that shit.
You know what it gave me? It gave me Bone Thugs and Harmony Crossroads vibes.
Yeah, it's kind of like that old
that shit was hard.
I'm not gonna lie, I guess my perspective is different. Like, I originally had a hard time, trying to adapt to him because he did the whole like shaving the eyebrows and like dyeing his hair, and it was like
he did a lot of weird shit.
Yeah, things that I couldn't relate to. But then I put all that to the side. He dropped the album, and I paid attention to the album. Like, you know what? This is actually good content. Like, the music was good. but I couldn't really like dive into it because of people's
That video
opinions.
is all about what you just talked about with the shaved eyebrow. He was literally trying to get rid of that person that everybody associated him with the negativity and the fighting.
Yeah.
Cause you gotta remember.
I feel like it was showing you how your past always hunt you too.
Right.
Remember he got into that fight with Offset and them in LA, and he ran up the stairs behind him and said, "Why y'all didn't shoot me though?"
Yeah.
That was that person.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Got a point.
that's why I guess I got a different perspective now that he's gone. That like now I got to really pay attention to these kids and other young artists coming up in the game. That, like you got to kind of look past the stuff that we can't relate to and try to get straight to the music. Like
One thing that I like about
hear
his
the
music too, when I listened to the first joint that I went back and listened to was his recent album, Question Mark.
Yeah, question.
That's just fire. And the one thing that I like about it is too, like he prefaced it.
Yeah.
And I was like, cause I usually go into shit open minded, but like for him to preface and to be like, look now, like this is what you finna
Before
get
the
now.
album, before the
I
album.
even start this shit, like I fuck with that. I thought that was.
Yeah, I feel like he's
dope.
like, not. I don't want to like compare philosophies and compare, humans and
Oh
characters.
no, you doing this? Don't do
But
it.
do you feel like he's like
Buzzy,
today's?
don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Like,
No.
I'm gonna say this.
No.
I'm gonna say
No.
this as probably arguably the biggest Pac fan here. I got Thug Life tattooed on my arm.
No. Right?
I'm not upset with the comparison. I'm really not. I'm not mad at people making that comparison because there are some parallels. I can't deny that. I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm hating if I deny the parallels.
Okay.
And for me personally, I can't equate the two just because me personally, I identified with Tupac completely differently as a black man.
Two different subject matters.
It's two different things.
It's
like
two different subject matters.
I feel like the way you connect with XXXTentacion is like, he tackled today's kind of like
Issues.
hot topics like mental health.
Yeah.
Back then, like it was a thing, but it wasn't like how it is now. We pretty much ignored that shit back then.
But back then it was more like, African American issues and like things that we were suffering
We was coming
from.
out the crack epidemic.
Like that was
three
more
strikes
about,
you out type
so
shit.
I guess
like,
it's more heartfelt for us seeing that. But the generation that's coming up now, they're dealing with the mental health issues and things like that.
and those issues gonna be felt throughout time. Those are things that
This could tie in with Tupac anyways, bro. Think about it now.
I hate to bring it to this, but this will bring it home. I hate to bring it here, but it's Florida too. So, mental health issues. You think about like Margie Stone Douglas situation. Kids in that era, they growing up seeing that kind of
kids
stuff.
going through trauma.
That's kind of issues that they dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So somebody like that they could relate to more than a Pac. They didn't see that
Let me
generation.
bring it back with the
Go
Tupac,
back.
bro. With all the stuff that we know now about mental health, how the fuck we don't know if Tupac was bipolar and switching on and off?
Pac was definitely bipolar.
Yeah, but that wasn't the issue at
They call
hand.
that shit
That wasn't the
thug.
issue at
We couldn't
hand.
put a name on it back then. Yeah,
We
so
couldn't.
call that shit.
I mean, Thug, the way he meant Thug was a little different. It does have a lot to do with mental health though, because I mean,
Thug life has something to do with mental health?
Thug life is an outcome. Thug life is an
Yeah, but
outcome.
mental health?
Yeah.
The hate you gave little infants fucks everybody? Like,
AKA trauma. AKA trauma.
But is that mental health though?
Yes, nigga.
Okay, yeah.
Think about what thugs go through. Traumatic shit.
Okay.
That turned them into some thug ass niggas.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but I didn't think it was mental health. I thought it was just making us
Like I
gangster.
said, I'm not mad at the comparison.
Back then, we going through all this type of anxiety, but we thinking this shit.
But
normal.
to me, I guess I feel you. But I guess what I'm thinking is, to me, Thug Life was more like you fucked us to the point where we gotta be gangster. It didn't say you fucked us to the point where we gotta be like crazy.
Nah, but see, that's
You know what I'm saying?
that's the small.
I feel like Papa
like you
telling
say
you
you
this
made
is
us
why we
military.
crazy.
Okay.
Rather than
It's
saying you gotta
small
be crazy.
differences. There's a comparison to be made,
And I
but
was
there's
a big-
very small
Because every
differences.
point that he touched on was telling you this is why we act like this.
I
like
can't
black person.
say it was mental health because I guess I was a real Pac fan too. Just like you. So I actually bought The Roads That Grew from Concrete. Like I was into that. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't see that as mental health. I saw it as artistic.
Because it wasn't a
He was
thing at
very
that
artistic.
time, bro.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't know. We didn't know what to call it.
Okay.
Especially in the black community,
Yeah.
we fucking still
No,
struggle with that shit.
I get you.
When you listen to when you take excerpts from The Roads That Grew from Concrete, the things that he was talking about as far as like relationships and stuff like that,
Yeah.
that can really affect your psyche.
Right.
Like the women that he dealt with, like being scandalous
Not
or
having
like
a father present.
falling out of love and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
that
but the
also
kind of stuff
ties
he was
into-
talking about in that book and the poems that he wrote were more like, for example, I remember one poem was about like when would the earth have peace, And the end of the poem said, when the earth falls to pieces, saying it would never have peace. He just had a very artistic mindset. You know, the Rose That Grew From Concrete was saying that you could come from nothing. You could come from a struggle. Like, I seen that as this artistic mindset. He knew how to, you know, get through anything. And I believe that. I believe that. But it was more of a militant mindset of what's going on in this generation, what's going on in that generation. That's all it is. Different comparisons.
I wanted to reject the comparisons as well, but when I
at first I was completely against it.
Yeah.
It
But
was
when
like
I
that's
dove
crazy
deeper
comparing.
into who X was, I was like, okay, I'm not mad at this.
If X
Yeah.
had
I'm
them
not
fi-
mad at this.
if X had 5 more years,
I was the same way.
who knows?
Cause think about it, he was only in the game for what, a year?
Yeah.
A good year? How
Yeah.
many projects he had?
A couple.
And a few.
2 albums.
He had 2 albums and like a few mixtapes.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
And he was definitely growing because we saw the growth from.
Because the
you know,
only
album
thing
one, album two.
nobody can compare to Tupac in still present day is
what?
work ethic.
Content.
Legendary work ethic.
Yeah.
Legendary.
All right, wrapping up. We want to overall just say, you know, rest in peace, X.
Rest in peace.
Everybody out there, you know,
Protect
stay
our
safe.
youth, man.
Exactly.